Instead of going to Woody's for barbecue, I told the wife that tonight we're going to Woody It. She looked at me kind of funny at first, and then she smiled and said, "Let's eat."
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
This is Garrett Scanley, and when I needed surgery on my foot, I selected Dr. Acevedo and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what orthopedic injury you have, go where you're treated like a pro. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Dr. George Acevedo of Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Thanks to all of the athletes who ask us to help them get back on their feet. Come see us today.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm Sam Nelson with your 1010XL local sports update. Jaguars to the top many preseason polls for winning their division in 2023. The reason is mostly the offense led by Trevor Lawrence. However, for the Jazz to succeed, the defense must step up with special emphasis, says linebacker Foy Oluokun.
Big emphasis on thinking turnovers, and it's like, all right, yeah, get turnovers.
SEC Media Days are underway, and second-year LSU head coach Brian Kelly is thinking next step.
But that next step is getting to the playoffs and giving this team an opportunity to win a championship.
The Jaguars running back and Southwest Florida native Dearness Johnson being traded from the Browns to the Jags gave him a chance to give back. He sponsors a free youth football camp at his alma mater, Immokalee High School.
You know, I just wanted to give back to the kids and just show face and give these other kids hope that dreams about to make it to the NFL.
That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson for 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
At 10 o'clock, it's 83 degrees. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Last year's last year, and you just have to keep reiterating the point. Like, you know, I've said this in here before. It's, you know, it's a new team, it's a new season. You know, we got to start over, and that's got to be the mentality. You know, it's great what we did, but we haven't done anything in 23, and we haven't played a football game yet.
It just really feels like, for the first time in my 20 years, it's not only the needle pointed up, but like way up, straight up. Like this thing jumping about, like they were about to jump on a rocket bound for the moon. And I just feel like that's where this team is headed.
So I think Trevor's going to win the MVP. I think Trevor's going to have an unbelievable season for a team that's going to win a lot of games against bad football teams.
Shotgun for Trevor. He drops. He looks. Fires left side of him. Caught! 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 Zay Jones catches it! The two-point conversion is good! Jacksonville has taken the lead! How good is that?
I would say Tank Bigsby. I think he'll be the rookie that the nation kind of wakes up on.
Bigsby runs the opposite way and finds a crease. Inside the 30, with a cutback, breaks a tackle. Inside the 10, goal line, touchdown!
We've done all the work. The city's growing. The Jaguars are ascending. We have, new leadership in the mayor's office. Now is Jacksonville's time.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your host Mike Dempsey and
Hold my pocket,
Dylan Denmark.
Oh, yeah, Fat Tony remains on assignment all week long. Welcome in, everybody. This is Jaguars Today here. Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you. Happy birthday, Shad Khan. What do you get for the guy who can buy everything you have 100 times over? I don't know. What's it like growing up with a billionaire dad? What did Tony Khan get his dad for his birthday? Did he just draw him a card when he was a kid? That was always the best present to me. Something my son took actual time to create. I don't need you to buy me anything. I don't need anybody to buy me anything. If I need it, I'll buy it for myself. But a nice hand-drawn card, I still have a stack of them from all throughout the years. But happy birthday, Shad Khan. We got you the Miller Electric Center. Actually, you got us the Miller Electric Center. In terms of investing in it, it's being unveiled kind of as we speak right now to the media, and you could take a kind of a virtual tour online and check out what's inside the Miller Electric Center if you go to Jaguars.com. And why wouldn't you want to see the sparkling new facility that is going to host training camp and a variety of other events and type activities for the Jags. Ultimately, they're going to move a lot of stuff out of the stadium, office-wise and all that. That's the big goal. But right now, it looks like a sparkling facility that they've got down there. And, hopefully it's a sign of better things to come for the Jaguar organization and a step to hey, we got this performance center done. Let's all agree obviously, there's negotiation that needs to go into it, but get a deal done on a new stadium. And just imagine if this is what the Performance Center is going to look like. And they've been talking about how it's going to be state-of-the-art and blow your mind. And, the visuals are very impressive. There's no question about it. I can only imagine what that new stadium would be like. There's one really spectacular mural of a Jaguar, kind of an interesting format. It's like in one of the first moments of the video if you go to Jaguars.com and check it out. So I encourage you to do that at some point, but maybe do it on a commercial break or do it even better after Jaguars Today is off the air. We need your full attention. As somebody said on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, give Shad Khan a stadium deal for his birthday. He's willing to pay half. Usually your birthday, you don't have to reach into your pocket for anything. So 73 years young. I wouldn't necessarily wish away the next 19 years, but Dylan, if you told me I could be 73 in Shad Khan's health and have his money right now, I might hit the fast forward button. I'm not sure, because that money will probably keep him in pretty good shape for another 20 years or so. I couldn't tell you if I got 20 years left at this point in time. So, I'll just keep hoping that I get adopted by that Khan family at some point. I don't think it's going to happen. I've pretty much given up. Although the Mega Millions going off is crazy tonight. I will get a few tickets for that. And, of course, now the Powerball up over $1 billion. Talked about last week, you could get 1% of the Jaguars' net worth for like $35 million. Don't know if they'd sell it to you, but think about that. I'd ask, right? I mean, if I hit the Powerball, I'm the guy who's dumb enough to look at the articles about what the tax implications are going to be when I win the Powerball. When you take the lump sum, the lump sum is like $400 and something million, nearly $500 million, and then it's like right off the top, you got to write 24% to the government. So you're talking about over $100 million. I'd love the opportunity to write a $100 million check to somebody, honestly. I'll tell you. It wouldn't bother me all that much. If you're a running back, you probably can't afford that in today's NFL, at least the way the trend is going. A lot of consternation about how unfair it is to be a running back in today's NFL. It's kind of supply and demand. It's like any job that if somebody comes along that can perform as well or better than you at a less expensive cost, your employer is going to consider that. The thing with the running back position is as well, your shelf life is so small. Most jobs, the longer you're on the job, the better you're going to be. The more experience you have, the more comfortable you're going to be, the better you're going to perform. In the case of a running back, after, 5-6 years, and then there are exceptions to the rule, no question about it, but you get pretty diminishing returns about that. I saw somebody tweet out Adrian Peterson over the life of his NFL career made like $103 million, something like that. It seems like a lot of money for a running back, and they compared it to Tyler Hero getting an extension off of his rookie deal for over $120 million for the Miami Heat. He's a good player, but he's compared to Adrian Peterson's place in the NFL pantheon, just a guy, all right? I mean, Adrian Peterson was the most feared running back in the league for a spell, at least. But it's the economics of the game. There is a lot of supply and not a lot of demand right now. So, Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, fortunately for us, we don't have to worry about that kind of situation here. We've got, you would suspect, probably 2 to 3 more years of Travis Etienne at a minimum here playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It washed away an entire season, getting injured as a rookie, no fault of anybody. Things happen, but, going into year 3, then you've got year 4, the 5th-year option. You could franchise tag him at that point in time, and hard to imagine too many running backs coming into the league this year who are not just stacking up Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl, honestly getting that much of a second contract with their teams at this point in time. And, Matt Miller of ESPN put it out there yesterday, and he got a lot of heat over it. Been saying it for years, and a lot of people have, by the way. He just encapsulated it in a tweet yesterday. Draft a running back, play the running back. If he's good, franchise tag the running back one time, and then start the process over. Draft a running back, okay? And that's kind of what it is. You can now maybe when the salary cap rises as significantly as it's expected to, there's even some money left over for that position. And I get what they're saying. We're integral to everything you do offensively, although it's a passing league now. But these guys, are the elite ones are taking on those 280-plus car collisions a year is what they kind of compare it to. That's not to mention blitz pickup and all the other things that go into it. And, some guys have well over 280 touches. You're not getting that kind of car crash collision on every single one of them, but you're getting plenty of them. Enough so that most of us wouldn't be able to get out of bed the next day. But then again, we're not getting paid $10 million plus for our effort. So we'll get into that today. It's a big topic around the National Football League right now, to the point where Ross Tucker, a former NFL player himself, has been in the NFL media for a while, suggested yesterday that Saquon Barkley should show up, sign his tender, and then suddenly get a tight hamstring for a while and see how they do without you. Players can play hardball too. Sounds suspiciously to me like what Jalen Ramsey did here. Oh, my back hurts. You're going to have to pay me my millions of dollars, but I'm not going to provide my services for that payment. Look, could Saquon Barkley do that? Sure, he could do that. Is that an honorable thing to do? Is that defrauding his team? That's where I would come down on that. And nobody made the guy be a running back. And you're not going to find too many people outside of like the most hardcore NFL fans, I think, that are empathizing or sympathizing with Barkley and Jacobs. All right, so you tell me that they're going to pay you an average of the top 5 guys at your position that's going to be 8 figures this year. What's the beef? You could say, go out, kill it again. They'll either franchise tag you and have to give you a 20% raise on top of that, or you hit free agency next year. And that's part of it too. Sure, show up and limp through a season with a tight hamstring and see what the open market gives you when you're a year older as a running back. And you can make the argument, well, wink, wink, wasn't really hurt. Well, then what do? You quit on your team. Look, I'm not saying it's an easy position to be in. And right now, I think if you want to go the option of not showing up into the regular season, that's totally your prerogative, and I totally support that. I don't support you showing up and pretending that you're hurt, and I never will, and I don't understand that mentality. And I get the whole players defend players thing, but that's way over the top, in my opinion. So, anyway, check out that video, as I said, over at Jaguars.com. It's a brief one, just about a minute, kind of a visual tour of some of the things that they've got going on at the facility. And as I mentioned, Taylor Dahl will pop in a little over an hour from now. She's down there representing 1010XL and will give us her thoughts on what we saw and what the experience is going to be like for fans at training camp. That's a big part of it. Obviously, what we care about around these parts. The Jags are going to be fine wherever they're practicing ultimately. And yes, I think having a new facility can be a benefit in attracting free agents. You bring them in, you bring them through a tour, and they go, wow, this is pretty first class what we've got going on here in Jacksonville, FLA. But today's Jaguars Today question of the day, we generally ask this every year, and just interesting. And I understand our audience comes from all over the place, literally all over the world at times, and I appreciate that. I think it's one of the most fun aspects of doing the show for myself and Tony over the years is getting to talk to and on occasion meet people from all over the world that all have a singular common denominator. That is their love for the team that plays here in Duval. But today we're asking you the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. For Jaguar fans, how many training camp practices do you plan on attending at the brand new Miller Electric Center? Understanding, as Cristiano said, hey, if I hit that Brazilian lottery, I get it, bro. I'm not suggesting you should come up from Brazil for a training camp practice, but I'm curious as to, the lengths people will go to some of these. So it's a pretty simple poll. Either you're not going to go to any, and in a lot of cases that's either have no interest, you have work. I get that. And most of the practices are during the week, but there are some weekend opportunities for you to get out there. Whatever the case. So is it 0? Is it 1 or 2? Like, I'm going to show up. I want to check out the facility. I want to see Trevor Lawrence and the boys at least one time. Or is it 3 or more? And I thought about breaking that into levels, but I figured that's going to be the smallest response anyway. So are you going to none? Are you going to 1 or 2? Or are you going to 3 or more? Honestly, for me, I don't know what the answer is, depending on we're working out the schedule where we're trying to be able to broadcast Jaguars Today inside the Miller Electric Center, right there adjacent to it, to be part of the experience. Those are some of the most fun shows that we do all year, get to interact with you, the crazy people that listen to this program year-round, and we love it. I say crazy in the most loving way because we need crazy when it comes to that, right? The fact that you can do a program that's basically about one team that doesn't play for about 7 months out of the year and have it be as successful as it's been that's a direct reflection of the Jaguar fan base and the passion that's out there. So tell us how many training camp practices you plan on attending at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Jordan Dajani is going to stop by today from CBS Sports. Did a piece recently talking about Trevor Lawrence's historic improvement from year 1 to year 2. And we'll detail that a little bit coming up before we get Jordan on. He's going to join us in about 25 minutes on the program. Also over at ESPN, you would think they would save quarterback for last, right, when they do their positional ranking. And we told you yesterday they had ranked Trevor Lawrence 8th among quarterbacks. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that 6, 7, 8 range is where you're going to find him in most lists. And I don't care if he's 6. I don't care if he's 8. If they put him 4, what difference does it make? Does it get the Jags 2 more wins this year because that's what ESPN said he should be ranked? Or if they put him 10th, does that put the big chip on his shoulder and make him play that much harder? I think he's going to be motivated to play as well as he possibly can this year. I don't think that's an issue, but we'll get into the wide receiver rankings that they put out there today. And, you think we have a pretty good set of wide receivers here in Jacksonville, but you start looking at some of the names of the premium guys at that position, you realize, my goodness, this is one of the deepest positions in the National Football League, just chock full of stars. And I guess, the way the game's played today is set up to make those guys stars as well. So we have a lot to dig into today, and we appreciate your feedback as always on the phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. If you want to hop on board, we'd love to have you talking any aspect of Jaguar football or any of the NFL at large topics we mentioned there a moment ago. And hit us up on Twitter this morning at MD_1010XL, where you can one click vote on that poll. And, of course, throw us a bone and give a follow, by the way, to at 1010XL Denmark. Have you noticed it? Has there been any increase in your social media activity since becoming producer of Jaguars Today?
A little bit. It's gone up about 15, 20 followers, so there's definitely
15 or 20?
Yeah.
That's disappointing, quite frankly. That's like one a day since you've been the producer of the program.
They keep trickling in day by day.
All right,
so
everyone stop right now, pull over to the side of the road, get out your phone, scroll through Twitter, and add at 1010XL Denmark, and follow every salient point that he makes. I'm sure he makes a bunch of them on Twitter. I don't see you tweeting all that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't tweet that much. A little bit here and there.
That's all good.
Maybe once this football season comes, I'll
we still want you're part of the crew now, so we need people to give you your propers, and just in case you have something to say, just in case, like a former producer who shall remain nameless, you want to challenge somebody to a street race or something like that. We want to see the video.
Imagine that. Somebody just followed me. Somebody
stretch your hammies, okay? How
2
about
followers.
That? Well, there you go. We appreciate that. It's not a demand. We can't command you to do that. We would encourage you to do that because Dylan's a part of the family now. All right, so ready to roll. How many training camp practices do you plan on attending at the brand new Miller Electric Center is the question of the day. We'll talk all things Jaguars related. Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark with Jordan Dajani coming up. Taylor Dollar to follow. This is Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
JOI, where the pros go. Draft in the fast groove on 1010XL.
This is what I've been waiting for.
This Sunday at Pocono Raceway. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower. 1010XL.
Did you know the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid never needs to be plugged in? The onboard system charges the batteries for you. When you think Honda, think hybrid. Good for the environment, great for your budget. Visit your local Honda dealer to experience the CR-V of the future today.
Hey folks, you know you want shark coatings, and the time is now. So close your eyes and let's imagine your garage. Wait, if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. Just wait till you get home. The rest of you see those cracks, the stains? It looks dark, dull, and dreary. It's nothing you're proud of. It's your house junk drawer. Now, see your floor with shark coatings. It's bright, it's durable, it's fresh. Since it's non-porous, it will be so much easier to clean. Don't imagine your garage, driveway, porch, or pool deck this way. Get with shark coatings and have a brand new space with new possibilities.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Play fantasy golf against your favorite 1010XL personalities.
Oh, come on. What do you say? Are you in?
The Open Championship.
Fantastic show.
Win a family barbecue feast from Woody's Barbecue. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors. Enter at 1010XL.com.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Hi, I'm Megan, your Member Services Specialist with the Northeast Florida Safety Council. We've been keeping Florida businesses safe for over 80 years. We offer a variety of online and in-person safety classes. Our learning management system keeps track of all of your certifications and notifies you before they expire. Enjoy all the benefits and take the hassle out of safety compliance by becoming a member today. Visit nefsc.org. That's nefsc.org.
Hurricane season is officially underway, and now's the perfect time to make sure your home is protected from those storms by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. And right now, get 15% off your roofing project, plus flexible financing. This offer expires July 31st, and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CCC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Did you know that many cooling companies are now part of big conglomerates with no connection to Northeast Florida? In the past, they have concentrated on heating and air conditioning, but after a buyout, many add plumbing and electrical services. This raises their overhead, and those costs are passed on to the consumer. It's a case where bigger isn't better, it's just more expensive. Not Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Mike Merritt remains family-owned and operated. Merritt's focus has been the same for more than 30 years, keeping Northeast Florida comfortable, no matter what the weather. And there are no overtime or weekend surcharges. Mike Merritt's team does not work on commission. They repair only what needs repair and offer replacements only on what can't be fixed. And unlike at giant corporations where you can feel like just another number, with Mike Merritt, you'll feel like number one. Florida license CACO 50384.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. Expert Automotive is now open at our brand new state-of-the-art facility on St. John's Bluff Road. As always, every repair comes with a lifetime service repair warranty. Come celebrate our grand reopening by getting a free AC inspection, $50 off any repair, $199 brake specials, and free diagnostics all month long. Call 374-3373 or visit us at our new location at 2190 St. John's Bluff Road. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Hey, Jacksonville, we need your help. It may be summer, but school is just around the corner. Hundreds of local homeless, at-risk, and low-income students need school supplies. One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, is collecting school supplies through July 30th, so our most vulnerable kids can start the school year right. Be a good person and help us fill 350 backpacks this summer. Bring donations to your nearest One-to-One Financial branch. Learn more and find the closest branch at one-to-one-fcu.org. And don't forget, the school supply tax holiday is the last week of July. Thanks, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL. Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, I'm told on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, is the video up? Are we streaming on YouTube right now this second? Are you on?
We are up on YouTube.
On point with that? Like this? When does it come on? Like when the music starts? Because I don't watch, I'm not watching myself online to see what happens. We have a monitor in here. We can see what the shot looks like, but I don't know when it's live, when it's not live. Like, what do you do when we go to break, when we sign off and the first commercial plays, you hit we'll be back little video that goes up there? Is that what happens?
Yeah, so I start the stream about 2 to 3 minutes before the show starts, and then when we go to break, we go to break, I'll have it says 1010XL Live Cam, we'll be back, and then when you come back on, I throw it to your beautiful face.
Ah, well, it is beautiful. There's that. As somebody pointed out on the text line, not about my face, but about the studio. The TV studio is badass that we have in here. I mean, it really is amazing. It's a state-of-the-art, looks as nice as any set you'll see anywhere. And somebody tweeted or texted, really like the studio. Lighting is better than what I was expecting from what I heard yesterday. Yes, I heard the same. Light bulb with a beard is what I was described as looking at like yesterday. So glad that you like it. Go check it out on the 1010XL YouTube page. In regards to the Jaguars.com video of the new Miller Electric facility, someone texted, just looked at the video of the new facility. Like I said, it's a minute long. You'll see it. You'll be amazed at it. Like, wow, that's really nice looking. And they say when you have nice barber chairs, you're there. So, yes, they have barber chairs. They've got a little bit of everything. And do you really need a barber chair there? It's not a question of need. It's a question of these little fringe benefits and perks that make life easier on the players. And look, you're a multi-billion-dollar industry. Why not take care of your guys? If the big woe is me story is what we're talking about. How dare the Giants and Raiders offer $10 million for 1 year of service to Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs? Then the players are probably doing okay in large part. I'm sure there's examples of lower level guys that are getting screwed because that's the case in any industry. But I think if we had the ability, most people who listen to this program would trade places. And that's the thing. We don't have their ability. But guess what? Saquon Barkley in 4 years probably won't have the ability that he has right now. So the Giants are thinking, why should I commit to this guy? When you see the price tag for what the Jags ultimately give Trevor Lawrence, like if it's like, just, pick your crazy number here. Let's say it's $60 a year for 8 years. That's $480. Let's round it up. And it's 8 years, $500 million for 8 years. You're thinking, what's insane? And, the thing of it is, Trevor Lawrence, barring catastrophic injury, is going to retain value and grow and get better. And there's a chance that by the end of a 10-year deal for Trevor Lawrence, he's still as good, if not better, than he's ever been. And that's not the case for every position in the National Football League. It just isn't. All right, this from the desk of Duval Doom. I do tend to try to antagonize Doom sometimes because it's fun to do, but I like Doom. Doom and I consider him a friend we don't always see eye to eye, and that's okay. I don't mind that. But this has nothing to do with any of that. I just was thinking about that because I do, sometimes highlight some of the feedback that we get from him. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. But he put out, I guess, some instruction that the Jags are putting out in regards to training camp, like if you're planning on attending. And one of the things in there that is highlighted here is training camp guests will be randomly selected upon entry and be invited to a post-practice autograph session for the safety and security of all guests in attendance. No autographs will be permitted from the stands. Now, in the past, like you'd have some guys going over the stands and signing, but you also had, if you've been to a training camp practice for that little roped-off kind of path where the players would traverse from the field back inside to the facility, and people would just kind of line up next to the rope or line up next to the gates. If you've been down there, you know the scene, exactly what I'm talking about. And some players, sign every day. Some players might sign one day a week or whatever the case, but you had a chance to go down there, bring your football, bring your trading cards, whatever, and get some autographs. It's going to be a little bit more restricted, it sounds like, in that department. But, there are trade-offs here. It's not as much of a free-for-all atmosphere, it sounds like, which I kind of, be honest with you, like the free-for-all atmosphere, a little bit of training camp. But I am looking forward to seeing how they put on a training camp as far as, with the new facility and what that means for the fans. And you'll have some shade, so it won't be as brutal. And, Donna Deegan, the mayor was down there this morning giving some comments, and I don't think she's a stupid person. I think she realizes ultimately, like for a lot of people, her legacy is going to be simply tied to getting this one deal done and changing the fortunes of the downtown area and the city as a whole for decades to come. And I'm not, embellishing that. That's, do you want the Jags to have their lease run out in 2030 with no viable plan to stay? Or do you want to have a facility with a new long-term lease locked in and for several more generations of Jaguars fans, it's not even a consideration? You know that this is a permanent part of the sporting landscape here in Jacksonville. I certainly think she's well aware of all those things and hoping that will lead to getting it done. Coming up here in a minute, Jordan Dajani is going to join us in the piece on Trevor Lawrence. He highlighted a stat out there per Pro Football Talk. Any quarterback throwing at least 400 passes in each of his first two seasons, Trevor Lawrence made the biggest jump in passer rating from his rookie year to his second year in league history, from a 71.9 quarterback rating to a 95.2 last year. Terry Bradshaw had a bigger leap, but he didn't throw 400 passes in each of his first two seasons. So actually, this is for any number one overall pick quarterback from year one to year two. So, again, it's a little bit of a smaller sample size, and you can also point to, hey, maybe a lot of those quarterbacks did not struggle as much as rookies as Trevor Lawrence did, and no need to go through all the reasons why that happened. I think we're all well aware, even though somebody suggested this morning on Twitter, why don't we call it the Urban Miller Electric Center? Trust us, when that came up, we all thought that immediately, at least associated with this show, because we'd be calling him Urban Miller, the former head coach of the Jaguars, in honor of him never being able to remember a lot of his players' names on his own team. James, the running back, will tell you all about that. But more, I'm doing it out of respect for Miller Electric. I don't need them associated, even though this is the one lasting legacy of Urban Meyer. For those who are uninitiated and don't know exactly who we're talking about, context clues were pretty evident right there. But he wanted to get this done, and this was important, and he really pushed Shad Khan to do this. And so kudos for getting that done. It'll be the one lasting positive legacy. And I heard this morning Jeff and Dan talking about, he could, if he wanted to try to spin the story, he could go, hey, I'm the one who oversaw the Jaguars drafting Trevor Lawrence. Look, my pet rock could have drafted Trevor Lawrence. Like, everybody knew when Frank Gore picked up that first down, the Jags were drafting Trevor Lawrence, that they weren't going to mess around. So, you still did it, but it's not like you get credit for doing the obvious right there. At least no overwhelming credit for that. I don't think we're going to look back and go, well, Urban brought us Trevor. He brought you the Miller Electric Center in many ways, and that is the one positive. By the way, Doom giving you some props there, Denmark. He says, you do a great job with the stream as opposed to some other guy who shall remain nameless. Wow, that seems like, I'm guessing, is that a shot at E.T. right there? He didn't name him, but I don't know who else that would be that he's referring to. It could be some other producer. I don't know, man, what goes into it. It's just pushing a button at the right time. Coming up a little bit later on, we're going to get to Jordan Dajani here on the other side. I want to get to some of the comments from Frank Kelleher yesterday, who's the president of Daytona International Speedway, on with XL Primetime, and there was one answer he gave which made me think that the entire Daytona idea may be a complete non-starter for the Jaguars playing there, and we'll run through some of that audio coming up just after the top of the hour. But joining us next from CBS Sports, Jordan Dajani, who covers the NFL at large, but we'll get his thoughts primarily on the Jacksonville Jaguars, what kind of third-year leap he may be anticipating for Trevor Lawrence, and what Jaguar fans should be most excited about, but also the state of affairs with the running back position currently in the National Football League, dominating the NFL headlines. With Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. You can see my face, beautiful or otherwise, if you check out the 1010XL YouTube channel, or just keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
This is Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
JOI, where the pros go.
I heard a story about you. I was wondering if it's true.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
He's not afraid to tell the truth. Rick Ballou as the Truth Teller. Evenings on 1010XL.
I'd give anything to be friends with him.
It's back! The Big One sales event is here, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota. Mia here, and Arlington has over 400 new Toyotas available. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and family vans. And that means now's the time to go big and go home in style. Plus, with every new Toyota purchase, you get Arlington's lifetime warranty and their 30-day exchange program. But don't wait. The Big One sales event won't last long, so shop today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
No dental insurance? No problem. Introducing the Care Plus program from the dental offices of Dr. James McCall. For only $625 per year, you will receive 2 cleanings and dental exams, a full set of x-rays, plus 1 emergency dental exam and x-ray. You'll also receive a 20% discount on all other services offered. Kids 12 and under will receive the same program for only $525. Call Dr. McCall today at 620-9225.
At Kubota, they want to help you deliver a job done right. That's why they want you to know that the new Kubota inventory is arriving daily. You've got work to do. They've got the reliable, durable, and versatile lineup to help you do it. Visit Coastal Equipment today for all your equipment needs.
Greater power for the great outdoors. Coastal Equipment.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
Run to the Jacksonville Sharks for their fight against West Texas this Saturday, July 22nd, 7 o'clock, Five-Star Arena. With tickets as low as $15, you can't find this kind of affordable fun just anywhere. It's Military Appreciation Night. Stay postgame for the auction and win a military Sharks jersey. All veterans and their families. Buy one ticket, get one free. Shark Tank this Saturday, July 22nd, 7 o'clock at the Five-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. Call 904-621-0700 or visit jacksharks.com. And veterans, BOGO tickets. Fins up.
If you miss any interviews from your favorite coaches and players at All Weather Contractors SEC Media Days presented by South State Bank, catch them on demand at 1010XL.com. Brought to you by Instant Keys and Baptist Bariatrics.
If golf is your thing, you might want to check out Hidden Hills Golf Club. At Hidden Hills, we simply love the game, and we take great care of our golfing friends. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Introducing an exciting update from Duck Duck Rooter. We're thrilled to expand our services with the launch of Duck Duck Air Conditioning. As a fully licensed mechanical contractor, our skilled team is equipped to handle any air conditioning and refrigeration project you have in mind. Contact Duck Duck Air Conditioning today at 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769. Or visit us online at duckduckac.com. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, your reliable partner in air conditioning and refrigeration services.
Folks, it's finally here. The return of the Blue Crab House. After a massive fire, they return and they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 4:30 to 10, Sunday noon to 9. As always, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas, $1 oysters on Wednesday. And as expected, the best crabs that you'll find throughout Jacksonville. Same ownership, same management. The Blue Crab House off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road.
Beer, water, beer. That's a pretty good game plan when it comes to battling the summer heat. When you hit the beach, fishing hole, or golf course, make sure you hydrate. Anheuser-Busch is always up for a good time. Just remember to drink responsibly.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
The Jacksonville Eye Center's vision is all about your vision. Vision correction for all ages. From an early age to your elder years, being able to see clearly is just a phone call away. Call 355-5555 and say hello to Dr. Robert Snipper. With the latest technology and advancements in vision care, the Jack's Eye Center can help you from top-line care, glasses, contacts, to expert LASIK procedures and cataract surgery. See what you've been missing at the Jacksonville Eye Center.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. These intense summer storms are a good reminder to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Check out Pella's new Hurricane Shield and Defender series. These amazing windows exceed all coastal requirements for storm protection. Seriously, they can withstand the impact of a 2x4 shot out of a cannon at 50 feet per second. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway right next to Tesla. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, we do go to the All-Pro Roofing phone line this morning. Happy birthday, Shad Khan. We got you Jordan Dajani of CBS Sports. How about that? National NFL writer who had a piece recently about Trevor Lawrence just a few days ago. You can check it out at cbssports.com. Jordan, good morning. Thanks for a few minutes. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's going on? Really appreciate you having me on the show today.
Well, we appreciate you jumping on with us here. Your piece on Trevor Lawrence caught my eye on this, and I know, it was a stat at Pro Football Talk that caught your eye about how Trevor Lawrence became the quarterback with the largest increase in passer rating by a number one pick who had thrown at least 400 passes in each of his first two seasons in league history. So my question for you, Jordan, is how much of an improvement would you anticipate Lawrence taking from year 2 to year 3 this season?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence definitely showed what he's capable of in year 2. And thankfully, I was one of those journalists who was smart enough to completely throw away year 1 under Urban Meyer. We knew that was going to be a throwaway year. But, it's kind of a small sample size. I wanted to bring that up as well. The first 8 games of 2022 weren't incredible from Trevor Lawrence, right? I think the Jags went 2-6, 10 touchdowns compared to 6 interceptions. But those last 9 games, is where Trevor Lawrence showed you what he's capable of. So when you ask me what he's looking for, what kind of improvement we can anticipate in 2023, I think it's fair to wonder if he's on the doorstep of superstardom. And there's a couple of reasons why. I mean, first of all, he's got a great situation with head coach Doug Peterson. This is an offensive mind who's won a Super Bowl. But the other part about this, other than Trevor Lawrence's pure athletic ability, is that he's got great weaponry around him now. The Jaguars have surrounded him with great wide receivers, added Calvin Ridley to that mix. They finally locked up Evan Ingram as well. A lot of people are high on Travis Etienne from a fantasy perspective in 2023. He's got some good things working for him. So it kind of sets the table for Trevor Lawrence to take yet another huge leap in year 3.
Yeah, you're right about that. And he did struggle in the first half of the season, and particularly through a couple of crippling end zone interceptions that killed drives in one-score losses, and seemed to kind of take that to heart and turn it around until the first half of that playoff game. And you wonder, Jordan, as well as the Jaguars were able to come back late in the first half and throughout the second half against the Chargers in the postseason, if they don't win that game, even if they play, if they miss the field goal at the end, which has no bearing on how Lawrence played, and they lose, is the perception of where this Jaguar team is headed maybe drastically different, because then there's more focus on the 4 interceptions that came in the first half for Lawrence in that game?
That's an interesting question, and that's something that I really haven't thought about. But my initial thought is no, I don't think it would do too much, because the Jaguars still came back. Maybe they missed that field goal at the end, but the fact that Trevor Lawrence threw 4 touchdowns and the Jags came back, he led that potential game-winning drive, set up his special teams unit for success, and they didn't answer the bell. I don't think we'd be thinking about the Jaguars a lot differently if they didn't go to Kansas City and lose to the Chiefs, because they were able to come back. Now, if the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence did not have that big-time second half, then that's an entirely different discussion altogether. But I think what was notable about that game is that Trevor Lawrence was able to come back, throw those touchdowns, get his team within striking distance, and lead that game-winning drive, and thankfully the kicker ended up making the field goal.
Yeah, and Riley Patterson, for that, got a pink slip. That's life in the NFL, right? I mean, Brandon McManus became available, and the Jags felt that was an upgrade, and that's the direction they've gone. And you talked about, you mentioned Calvin Ridley, who we feel is going to upgrade this passing game. But, I think here locally, it's why we like to have guys on like you, Jordan, because you have a national perspective. You're not emotionally invested in this franchise like a lot of us here are in Duval, that, we want to look for the positives, because we're sick of the negatives. We've had decades, seemingly, of more bad seasons than good, certainly. Are we maybe overlooking, like, hey, Tennessee was right there. Their quarterback gets hurt. They collapse down the stretch. The Jags had this series of improbable comeback wins. I mean, you can't look anywhere practically without finding someone predicting the Jags to win the AFC South. But are we taking for granted that the road is going to be maybe easier than it'll turn out to be?
I'm not sure. I haven't hung out with a lot of Jaguars fans this offseason, but maybe just a little bit. I mean, if you remember back in 2017, the Jags went 10-6, finished first in the AFC South, went all the way to the AFC Championship game, and then they finished last in the division for the next 4 years. Now, I'm definitely not predicting that happens with this situation, especially considering you have Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence in the fold. But, yeah, I mean, you can't take anything for granted in this league. It's pretty amazing that the Titans were once sitting at 7-3, but then injuries completely took a hold of the roster. And even in that Week 18 finale in Jacksonville, they walked in with a practice squad quarterback from the Browns and had an opportunity to win the division. That game was closer than a lot of people anticipated. So, you really have to earn your keep in the NFL. You have to earn those wins. You have to earn those division titles. And, of course, you have to earn Super Bowls as well. So, in my opinion, yes, the Jaguars absolutely should be the odds-on favorite to win the division in 2023. But it's not a given by any means necessary.
Talking here with Jordan Dajani from CBS Sports on the state of the Jags in the AFC South. And, there's been – look, I get it from fans. They're trying to downplay the significance of DeAndre Hopkins going to Nashville and signing with the Titans. I mean, if you look at Hopkins' numbers last year and you prorated them over the full season, if he were able to stay healthy, you're looking at 1,350 yards on about 120 catches. My question to you is, how much does he tilt the power dynamic at all? Or if there is a gap between Jacksonville and Tennessee, how much does Hopkins help close it?
Yeah, if you go by those 5-game averages in 2023 2022 with the Cardinals, DeAndre Hopkins was still a top 10 wide receiver. But it's interesting because the Tennessee Titans haven't exactly been a pass-first offense, so it's fair to wonder what Hopkins' stats are going to look like in this offense. I will bring up that the Titans have a new offensive coordinator in Tim Kelly, who is going to pass the ball more, according to reports, and he's somebody who has familiarity with DeAndre Hopkins from their time together with the Houston Texans as well. I still think the Jaguars should be the favorites in the AFC South. I think they are the better team on paper. But, yeah, I definitely think it makes the Titans closer. I've always considered the AFC South this year as a two-horse race between the Jags and the Titans. And if Hopkins can really add something to this offense, make life easier on Ryan Tannehill, make life easier on Derrick Henry, and, of course, we know that the Titans defense is going to be stingy under Mike Vrabel. If this unit can remain healthy, I really do think they're going to be in that division race until the very end.
When you look at Tennessee, obviously they invested in a young quarterback for the second year in a row in the draft, this time in Will Levis. Is more a product of Levis fell further than a lot of people expected him to. But the other two teams in the division went very highly to select their quarterback, with C.J. Stroud going to Houston and Anthony Richardson going to Indianapolis. Who are you buying stock in 5 years from now? Who has made the right decision? And obviously, that's going to come down to work ethic and luck and injury and all that kind of stuff. But which horse would you back in that race between Stroud and Richardson?
I like that question a lot because, talking about these prospects, C.J. Stroud arguably was probably the safest quarterback in terms of a day-one starter ready to go. He's got the NFL frame. He's talented enough. But Anthony Richardson, he's got probably the highest ceiling, right, with the Colts. I mean, he's the most athletic quarterback to ever take part in the NFL Combine. But one thing I can tell you is that he doesn't have a ton of experience as a starting quarterback, and he's going to go through some learning pains when it comes to being a quarterback at the National Football League, going through progression, being accurate with the football, making all the throws you need to throw, the footwork down to a T. Anthony Richardson is going to have to be pretty quick to learn those things, and those are the most important things when it comes to quarterbacking, not how fast you run a 40-yard dash time. So while I do think he has the highest ceiling of any of these rookie quarterbacks, he's not exactly a given. So I lean just a little bit towards C.J. Stroud, especially watching some of those games he had at the end of his career at Ohio State, how athletic he was running the ball. Maybe that's something that Houston looks for him to do, being a little bit more of a dual-threat quarterback, but we know he can be that pocket passer as well. So to answer that question, I'll lean just a little bit towards C.J. Stroud.
Okay, fair enough. Jaguar fans happy that we got the news over the weekend that Evan Ingram and the team worked out a deal, a shorter extension than maybe some would have liked, but 3 years, maybe it's 2 with a team option for the third. We'll see how it all plays out. But the Jags don't need to worry about Evan Ingram showing up. He was an integral part of the offense last year, and at least for the foreseeable future, he's locked in. That's not the case with a couple of other franchise tag players. Has been kind of the talk around NFL circles for the last 48 hours or so. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, not signing their tenders, not getting a long-term deal worked out. There's been a major national discussion about the value of the running back position. Jordan, all kinds of things have been suggested, such as them forming their own union, to having different rules, to maybe not being allowed to franchise tag them. Is there a solution, or is it just simply what Saquon Barkley tweeted out yesterday? It is what it is, and that's kind of the market right now.
Yeah, my goodness. You guys could spend an entire 3-hour show on this topic, and I'm sure a lot of people on sports radio are doing just that today. Part of me wants to say, look at what Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley did last year for their respective teams. They were imperative for those teams' success. But the other part of me wants to say, you know what? This kind of is the market with running backs. In every radio interview I do, people ask me, how do you fix this? And my answer is, well, one, I don't know. But two, also, who says it's something that needs to be fixed? This is also the natural progression of things. And like I said, I believe that these guys deserve some kind of financial security, but the NFL as a whole has refused to give these to these players. And you could go back in some cases and look at the other running backs who were disgruntled with their contract situations and what happened, right? Remember some guy named Le'Veon Bell who looked like the best player in the NFL? When he decided to hold out 1 year from the Steelers, look what happened to his career. Look at Melvin Gordon during his situation with the Chargers. I thought he was a top 5 running back at the time. Whatever team landed him after his contract issues, they were going to get a great player. It didn't exactly turn out that way. So I feel like the NFL is kind of going off of history, right? And they're also going off of just the basic fact that running backs don't have as long a career as other positions in the NFL as well. So I think it's a fascinating topic, and I don't know what's going to happen next. But I'm kind of divided, man, because I really do think that these guys deserve their money. They deserve their respect for being the pillars on offense for their respective teams. But the other part of it is that they play the running back position, right?
Yeah, and it's tough when you've got guys like Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette and Kareem Hunt and others that are just available to be signed off the street for presumably much less than Barkley and Jacobs would be seeking. Not saying that there's the same level of talent at this moment in time, but teams do have options right now at that position. Well, Jack's not going to have to worry about that for a few years with Travis Etienne still working on his rookie deal and Tank Bigsby in the backfield. Jordan Dajani from CBS Sports can be found on Twitter at his name. Last name Dajani, just like it sounds, and doing great work over at CBSSports.com. You'll appreciate the piece on Trevor Lawrence as well as the rest of Jordan's writings over there. Jordan, I appreciate you stopping by this morning, giving us a little national take on what you see from the outside in Duval. Look forward to maybe catching up with you again as the season nears.
Absolutely. Anytime. Really appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy. All right, there you go. Jordan Dajani from CBSSports.com. And, again, check out the piece. It's just pretty descriptive in its title. Jaguars' Trevor Lawrence aims to become one of the NFL's top quarterbacks after historic improvement from year one to year two. We're going to come back and listen into some audio cuts you may have heard yesterday. We hope you were listening to XL Primetime when Frank Kelleher, the president of Daytona International Speedway, was on along, the continuing discussion of where might the Jaguars play. Yeah, we're putting the cart a little bit ahead of the horse because we can't move the horse along any faster. We have no control over the horse, but we're going to talk about the cart and where it needs to go if we presume the Jags get a stadium deal done with the city and they're looking for a venue to play in the 2026-2027 seasons. We'll discuss that coming up next, plus a tour around the NFL. Taylor Dahl will stop by in about 27 minutes from now and give us her impressions on the tour she took today at the brand new Miller Electric Center, which had its ribbon-cutting ceremony this morning. Mike Dempsey and Dylan Denmark here with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today, halfway home on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Tire Outlet. Is your vehicle in need of some TLC? If so, bring it to the experts at Tire Outlet. They've got over 40 years of experience, 14 locations around the First Coast alone. They're the brand that you can trust. Tire Outlet has certified technicians that are going to do the job right, whatever that job is, to get you in and out in no time flat. And you'll get great deals on tires and auto services across the board. They offer free tire rotations, free brake inspections, rebate offers on brand name tires, and a legendary price match guarantee on every set of brand new tires you purchase. That's Tire Outlet, where you always get wholesale prices and premium service.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go. It begins with a dream.
Cinderella Story, a former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion. It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!
1010XL.
It's in the hole!
92.5 FM.
E.T. here, Brackish Vodka, Jacksonville produced and distilled. A gluten-free corn-based vodka is the smoothest vodka you've ever had. Because it's mineral salt filtered after being distilled 5 times, you get the smoothest vodka on the market. And it's made right here in Jacksonville. When you drink gluten-free Brackish Vodka, you are supporting a local business and not a business based in Texas. Taste why 9 out of 10 people pick Brackish Vodka in a blind taste test. Drink like a local. Drink Brackish Vodka.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Come to Bowden Eye for all your eye care needs. Hicken here. Did you know that diabetes is a leading cause of blindness and affects up to 34 million Americans? Please don't take diabetes lightly. If you have diabetes, see your favorite Bowden Eye doc and save your vision. Bowden Eye is dedicated to the protection and preservation of the treasured gift of sight. Bowden Eye & Associates. Visit today for your personal consultation. Keeping the First Coast focused. New location now open off County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
In your free time, the last thing you want to do is clean your house.
Right.
First Coast Home Pros offers luxurious maid services you can trust. Weekly, bi-weekly, or even one-time deep house cleaning. FirstCoastHomePros.com. FirstCoastHomePros.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
ET here. If you're a licensed property and casualty agent and frustrated with your current situation, be your own boss with an Australia franchise. Opportunities available all over Northeast Florida. Visit AustraliaInsurance.com to learn more.
Did you know that weight loss surgery is the most effective solution for obesity, according to the National Institutes of Health? If you've tried everything and you're still struggling with weight loss, a procedure at Baptist Health could be your solution. Our personalized program is a center of excellence with a full team to support you every step of the way. Is it time to reclaim your health? To see if you qualify, call 904-202-SLIM or visit BaptistBariatrics.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Did you know that only 1% of all the diamonds in the world qualify to be a Forevermark diamond? They're the world's most carefully selected diamond and the world's most responsibly sourced diamond. These diamonds benefit the communities they're sourced from. That's why these diamonds carry an invisible Forevermark icon on their table. Most people don't know that Forevermark diamonds are individually cared for from the mine all the way to her finger. And that's where Underwoods fits in. Not everybody can carry Forevermark diamonds. And in fact, all of the companies in the Forevermark network that handle the diamond between the mine and her finger are vetted and carefully selected for their honesty and integrity to also carry that Forevermark icon. Underwoods is proud to be a part of the Forevermark network. And in fact, we were one of the first 5 in the United States invited to join. So come by and see our selection of Forevermark diamonds at Underwoods.
Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and Twitter to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community-owned utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
Jacksonville people, the best wings in town are coming to Mandarin. The Players Grill is expanding and opening soon on San Jose. Watch your favorite teams and enjoy burgers, pizza, salads, and more. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets. I'm Sam Nelson with your 1010XL local sports update. Jaguars to the top many preseason polls for winning their division in 2023. The reason is mostly the offense led by Trevor Lawrence. However, for the Jazz to succeed, the defense must step up with special emphasis, says linebacker Foy Oluokun.
Big emphasis on thinking turnovers, and it's like, all right, yeah, get turned.
SEC Media Days are underway, and second-year LSU head coach Brian Kelly is thinking next step.
But that next step is getting to the playoffs and giving this team an opportunity to win a championship.
The Jaguars running back and Southwest Florida native Dearness Johnson being traded from the Browns to the Jags gave him a chance to give back. He sponsors a free youth football camp at his alma mater, Immokalee High School.
You know, I just wanted to give back to the kids and just show face and give these other kids hope that dreams are to make it to the NFL.
That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson for 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
At 11 o'clock, it's 87 degrees. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cool with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, hey, Denmark, I got an idea. You want to hear it?
What you got?
See, that's you're kind of in a position. What are you going to say? No, right? But here's the idea. 2.5 hours from now, how about I'll meet you on the first tee? How's that sound?
That sounds excellent.
That's a plan for Tuesday. Weather looks good, man. We've been getting swamped. Bro, I started my SiriusXM season schedule last night.
Yeah.
This week, I guess. I do Monday nights, Thursday nights, Friday nights, and then I do Saturday, right now late afternoons, but that'll shift to 8 o'clock in season. But the Monday, Thursday, and Friday shows are at 10 p.m. So I've already, one day in, and my sleep schedule is out the freaking window, man. I mean, just I love to take an afternoon nap anyway, but now it's it's like a necessity because when I get off the air, I cannot go to sleep right away. I get done at midnight on those nights, and so, the alarm's going to go off at 6:15 the next morning, and just no way for at least 90 minutes I'm putting my head on a pillow. So I go home yesterday. I try to hit the golf balls, but it's raining. The driving range is flooded, so I took a nap. Then I got up, and so I went to a range that was open, went for a walk around the neighborhood, came home, did all my show prep, and then I took another nap. 40 minutes. It's a little 40-minute cat nap.
Not a bad life.
Hey, well, I mean, right. It's nice to have the luxury to be able to do that. But, that's, look, not a complaint. I love what I do for a living. Absolutely would not trade it for anything that paid equally, right? We don't trade up salary-wise for some stuff. But I'm just telling you, if I'm more scatterbrained than usual on Tuesdays and Fridays, that's my excuse, whether it's a legitimate one or not. All right, let's take a quick tour around the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
All right, we're going to hear from Frank Kelleher coming up, the president of Daytona International Speedway, as he visited with XL Primetime yesterday. But just a couple of stories to mention from around the National Football League. Training camps open today for rookies of 9 NFL teams. So, Jaguar rookies, consider yourselves lucky that you don't report until Friday. The Bills, Chargers, Chiefs, Dolphins, Falcons, 49ers, Giants, Ravens, and Saints are all among the first groups to report. Again, in Doug we trust. Last year we were questioning, hey, you're canceling minicamp, you're doing this, you're doing that. We got to give you the benefit of the doubt because you're a Super Bowl coach, and then you're 2-6, and you're like, maybe it didn't work out as the way you planned. But then I think based on the end results, everyone's going to say, hey, whatever Doug Peterson's doing, leave him alone until proven otherwise right now. And I'm sure the rookies are happy to have a few extra days off. Meanwhile, the Washington Commanders' sale from owner Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris and his group is almost officially complete. The NFL Finance Committee reportedly completed a remote vote to unofficially recommend the league's owners approve the sale of the Commanders from Snyder to Harris yesterday. The committee's vote was just a straw poll, so it's not binding, but the approval was unanimous. The official vote is reportedly expected to occur during an owners' meeting in Minneapolis this Thursday, so the blight that is Daniel Snyder will be excised from the ownership group in the National Football League. Right now, look, Shad Khan, I've loved him as an owner. Has he always gotten good results? No, but it's not for lack of investment in this franchise. It truly hasn't been. Look at the amount of free agent money he has spent in his tenure. It's right there at the top of the National Football League, and it took him a while to hire the right people. And I don't care if he stumbled into it. I don't care what happened. He's got good people in place right now, and that includes Trent Baalke with the job that he's done in the last couple of years. I feel, at least, put it this way, he's got a good working relationship with Doug Peterson. I think most of us are comfortable. I can't speak for everybody. I said, again, I think most of us, I'm sure there are many that were in the clown movement or some that are in the clown movement that will never say a kind word about Trent Baalke, but I think what has happened is a lot of Jaguar fans are like, all right, As long as Peterson's here, he's going to have enough influence on this situation that he's the one that we have the faith in, whatever the reason. It's a good working relationship, and happy birthday, Shad Khan. You may have stumbled into it, but you stumbled into a good combo that we've got right now, and obviously you've got the quarterback and a lot of nice young pieces. It was, nice talking with Jordan Dajani there of CBS Sports and talking about where he thinks Trevor Lawrence can ascend into superstar level potentially as soon as this season. And that's certainly one of the possible outcomes for the Jags. And, right now, it's all signs pointing up. Let's hope that we're not overestimating what kind of season that they're going to have. But looking ahead down the road now, getting to Frank Kelleher, the president of Daytona International Speedway. Again, nice job at XL Primetime to have him on. He's, obviously made some public overtures about the level of interest Daytona would have in hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. So XL Primetime had him on. We're going to play a few of his answers to some of the questions here as we go along, and I think it'll become evident why there could be a big stumbling block to the Jags selecting Daytona or agreeing to Daytona to be a temporary home if it comes to that, which, again, we hope it does. That means they've got a stadium deal done. So yesterday, Kelleher on XL Primetime was asked if Daytona will have the amenities necessary to host an NFL team.
We have inside Daytona International Speedway an Advent Health Hospital. We also have a hospital on the venue side. And when I say hospital, I mean this is a full-fledged care outfit for not only our athletes and the crew as well as our fans. To where when it gets down into the nitty-gritty of what the NFL needs to provide their players, I'm fairly confident we have on site what they will need, as well as in the community with Advent Health or with other hospital providers that we have in a very close proximity to the Speedway.
All right, well, that tells me that if somebody gets hurt, they're not going to have to go far. But regardless, all right, that was how he answered that. Kelleher asked yesterday if NASCAR, Daytona, that their side of it would help pay for the move. Because keep in mind, there's got to be infrastructure that's put in if they choose a Daytona option. So how much is NASCAR willing to pony up?
What will it take to have locker rooms on site, as well as everything that would be involved to make the players and the staff comfortable? And then when it gets time to actually see what those numbers are, that's when internally we can have a conversation, not only with NASCAR leadership, as well as the business community and leaders in Daytona of, hey, here's what it's going to cost for the field, here's what it's going to cost for locker rooms. Can we as a community and as an organization, chin to that bar with what the investment might be?
And I like to hear that. That's a positive here because obviously Gainesville, Orlando, they're used to hosting football games. They have a lot of infrastructure in place. There wouldn't necessarily need to be that much more added there. So I want to keep that cost as low as possible. And what you're hearing from that side is, hey, let's get the Daytona business community to realize if we bring the Jaguars here for a couple of seasons, there's going to be a overflow benefit to you guys. Let's talk to NASCAR and say, hey, look, if we build some facilities here, what can we repurpose these for down the line? So I like hearing a lot of what we are willing to give to make that happen because, quite frankly, as attractive as Daytona is for some reasons, it would have to bring a facility into play that doesn't exist right now. That includes a football field. Where exactly would that football field be located if they play at the Speedway?
What we call the ball field, the grass field, right at the start-finish line where it says Daytona, that is where the football field would go. Last July, we hosted for the first time ever an inaugural soccer event where we had Orlando City Pride play a race in Louisville. So we have a model, we have images, we have the know-how of how long it takes for that to have a pitch built and maintained and then host international and domestic games. And then when you look at our garage areas, what we call the Blue Garage, we have our NASCAR Cup Series garage. There's also where the trucks park, Daytona 500 Club, the Boardwalk Club. There's actually a lot more brick and mortar buildings in the infield than one might think. So with a little time and a little creativity, these are the areas that exist that can be converted to fit a variety of different needs. But that doesn't mean that we also can't bring in a temporary solution.
All right. Oh, that's great. Yes, we can build facilities. We can do things temporarily. We can repurpose buildings that are all that's fine. Okay, this is the question that I think got me hung up, and I know a lot of people have been asking this. If you did choose Daytona, and again, we're cart well ahead of the horse, understanding that, right, acknowledging that, got to get a deal done on a new stadium, but if it comes down to Daytona as an option, January is when race season starts to crank up. You got the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona. You're getting ready for Daytona 500, which is the kickoff event of the entire season. The NFL season, typically regular season, leaks into the first few days of January. And then with the Jags on the rise, hopefully being the divisional favorite at the very least for the next however many years of Trevor Lawrence's ascendancy, you're going to have home playoff games to potentially conflict with this. So could Daytona host a Jags playoff game with the current race schedule the way it's set up?
There will come a moment in time where, as the Jags progress into the playoffs, I don't know if Daytona is going to be an option for them to be hosting playoff games, as we need to have the facility, again, ready for the Rolex as well as Speed Weeks. Now, that's my opinion from my point of view where I'm looking at it. I don't have an answer for that. But that, again, is just something that, cards facing up, when we sit down with the Jags leadership, we're going to have to talk about it.
Look, this is the big sticking point to me. And I don't know what their thought process would be on some kind of a split schedule. People have talked about, hey, would you maybe even just play like 1 or 2 games at Daytona early in the season, as, maybe, Florida's stacking their home schedule with, some visiting teams coming in, and you don't have those conflicts early on, and then you shift to playing the remainder of your games in Gainesville. Just imagine this. It's 2026, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are 13-4. And they are finishing off the regular season at Daytona International Speedway. Now, all of a sudden, as they get ready for the postseason, they've got to play at a venue that they're unfamiliar with, that they've never played before. They don't have the comfort level, the convenience. That's a part of the whole home field advantage, right? You sleep in your own bed. You know the facility. You know everything about it. You have a comfort level. Imagine, okay, we've done all this. Now we're basically going to play a road game in a facility that we've never played in, even though the proximity is close to us. Let's say they shifted to Gainesville, and you're hosting the Cincinnati Bengals or whomever. Cincinnati and Jacksonville's first game in that building, potentially, for the season. I don't know if that's – I mean, look, you can't have everything, right? And, again, I'll say it for the 15th time this morning, cart way ahead of the horse here, right? But if we're thinking about these issues – you as a Jags fan, you want to have every competitive advantage as possible. Trevor Lawrence is going to be at the height of his powers, you would think, right, in his kind of later 20s, and hopefully you've got a team that has had sustained success, and look, maybe it's overcomable, and I'm not saying you couldn't win in that scenario. Just the likelihood of having to run through an entire postseason after playing at one facility and you're, quote-unquote, hosting games. I don't know if you're getting the same advantage. I don't know if look, the Jacksonville people would make it to wherever to watch our team in the playoffs, I would believe. But I don't know. And, he continued on. They asked him, are there any plans to tinker with it? He said, as of now, no. Rolex is, on that schedule, and that's our focal point. And I get it. But if this is what you want to have happen, I don't know if that would just be a non-starter with Shad Khan and Mark Lamping and the Jaguars side of things if it came to that. Like, hey, yeah, okay, we can play there maybe until January. Maybe you're playing your final regular season game and any postseason home games at a completely different place than you played all season long, which I think would not negate entirely, but impact your home field advantage. It's definitely something to consider, but I appreciate Frank Kelleher, the president of Daytona International Speedway, hopping on board with XL Primetime yesterday. You can check out the interview in its entirety if you head over to 1010XL.com in the on-demand section. All right, coming up next, we got Taylor Dahl popping into studio here with us. If there's ever a reason to turn on the 1010XL YouTube channel, it would be Taylor sitting at this desk, not me, but she'll join me next as she was down at the ribbon cutting today for the Miller Electric Center and got the tour representing 1010XL. So she's going to tell us what she saw and what Jaguar fans should be excited about with the new amenities that are going to be available beginning training camp, which first open practice is a week from tomorrow. It's in the works for Jaguars Today to be out there. Again, this is a new facility. We've done this, in recent years. We've been able to be kind of right on the sidelines by the bleachers doing broadcasts, and it has been phenomenal. And then COVID came along, and it kind of changed things. So we're hoping to be as in the mix with Jaguars Today as possible, keeping in mind that practices now are starting a lot earlier, whereas before they might have been starting at 10:15, 10:30. They're starting at 8:45. So by the time we come on the air, practice will have been in full swing for over an hour, but it would still be great to be down there in that atmosphere. So we're finalizing plans on that and hoping to take advantage of as many opportunities as they allow us to have down there. But we'll tell you about what kind of venue we're anticipating being a part of and the atmosphere as Taylor Dahl joins us next. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark, Taylor Dahl on the other side on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go. Dan Hicken.
Something looks wrong. I mean, he's running around like he's on fire.
Oh, my God, help me. I don't want to die. Oh, stop, drop, and roll.
You're not on fire. Dan Hicken.
I'm on fire.
Mornings on 1010XL.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday and July event starts now with limited quantity deals on top business PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
High School 912 is committed to students' academic success through ACT, SAT boot camps and scholarships. These programs are guaranteed to help students increase their test scores and fund the college of their dreams. Your student's future is brighter with High School 912 on your side. Consider donating at jackshighschool912.com/give. That's jackshighschool912.com/give. High School 912, changing students' lives one heartbeat at a time.
Hacker here for the Sausage Dude Sausage, the sausage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Sausage Dude Sausage is made from high-quality pork and carefully sourced spices that make it the best sausage I've ever tried. You can pick up the Sausage Dude Sausage at Publix locations all throughout Jacksonville. Try the Polish, Hungarian, beer bratwurst with cheddar and jalapeno, or my favorite, the Italian. Take it from me, the Sausage Guy, and get to Publix today to get your hands on the Sausage Dude's Sausage.
He doesn't live in the water.
What's going on here? Get him in the boat. Get him in the boat.
But he practically lives on it.
Nice. Woo!
Captain Kevin in the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Houston's Meats.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball has cooler promotions, but some people call them ice chests. Either way, check out the items you can put your company logo on at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Feeling hot and bothered? Don't quack up. Call Duck Duck Air Conditioning at 904-862-6769. Our licensed and experienced technicians will make your home or office a cool and comfortable oasis.
Duck Duck Air Conditioning, keeping you cool and quacking all summer long.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Hey, it's Prosser here. Do you need cash to pay off credit cards and other high-interest loans? Does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound about right now? Well, Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off credit cards, home equity lines, car loans, consolidate all your payments into one check per month, and close in 2 weeks. Most homeowners who do this end up cutting their overall monthly payments by $800. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Look, warmer weather now means mosquito, flea, and tick season is here. These pests are out for blood, but you don't have to let them win. Protect your home and family with Kingfish Pest Control. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their products are safe for kids and pets. Plus, with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can relax knowing your yard is pest-free. Call today, mention the Jags to receive 10% off your initial service. That's Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect fare for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Jaguars Today
on 1010XL. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, moving along in hour number 2 here on Jaguars Today, and going to be joined now by former Breakfast Bowl champion, probably your greatest accomplishment in life, Taylor Dahl. And then you kind of like took the trophy and ran, and you're like, that's it. I don't need to defend my title.
I love it. I love doing it. It was just a situation last season where I couldn't.
I understand, work
but it's
demands.
So much fun.
You have an open invitation if you're able to swing it this season. I know we still have time. We've been telling everybody that E.T. Quit the show because he couldn't win. It's been 4 years. He's like, hell, I'll just hang with the drill, man. Maybe I can beat up on these
Now,
guys.
Is Dylan going to come in and win right away?
I don't know. We've had 4 winners in 4 years, right? Myself, DeRocco, you, and then Tony Smith is the defending champion right now. So a lot of pressure on Coach Pockets there, Dylan Denmark, to break through so nobody gets their first second victory, if that makes sense. Second victory. All right. So, Taylor, tonight, before we get into your previewing here for us what you saw at the Miller Electric Center, helmets and heels tonight, as it is every Tuesday. A great listen on 1010XL 92.5 FM. But Mia O'Brien and Lauren Brooks out of town at SEC Media Days. Yes. So I'm told helmets, heels, and Jordans tonight. What's the story?
Yeah, we have a little remix tonight, Mike. So E.T. is going to be co-hosting with me. JJ is going to normally our producer is taking a little bit of a bigger role tonight. So it'll be us 3. So 2 men and me tonight, but it should be fun. It'll be different.
No, it's you and 2 dudes, okay?
Yeah,
it's
2
still,
dudes.
It's the
Doll
heel
and the
tones
dudes.
still rule on it. Doll and the dudes. That's not bad either. There are a lot of possible names we could come up for this. So, all right, we've seen the video. I've seen the video. Didn't time out where I could be down there this morning and missed out on checking out the amenities firsthand. How impressed were you with the facility that they cut the ribbon on this morning?
It was fantastic. I mean, when you walk in, and obviously I hadn't been to the old old facilities because I haven't been in the position where I've been sent there during normal camp and stuff. So I don't have a comparison other than seeing pictures and other people's have what they've said. But Mike, from the moment you walk in, you already kind of get chills when you walk in because you're like, this is so nice. And everything from it, obviously, I think one of the big takeaways is that everything's in one place. And that's just so convenient because everything you're looking at with the weight room, with the personal training room, there's 3 fields because they have the full indoor field and then 2 outside fields. Over 2,000 fans can sit there and see everything that's going on in this massive stadium that, from what Hacker is saying, is bigger than any high school stadium we have here in Jacksonville. Fans above it, shaded, so obviously that's a plus. Because
I mean, you just won the internet today with that.
So much nicer, but obviously even the small intricate things, they kind of showed us. We walked through on our own pretty much, so we got to take our time in the rooms that were popping out to us. And one of the coolest ones was even the equipment room, which I did not see the former one, but what I kept hearing from everything around me was everyone was like, wow, this is much bigger than the old equipment room. They obviously have the entire wall where it has all the helmets, so the college football team from every player that had, where they're come from, what college.
So everyone who's on the current roster, if you went to that school, you're represented with a helmet,
yep,
right?
when you walk in the equipment.
So if there are 3 from a school, they only still represented by the one helmet?
That's a good question. I'm wondering because I didn't see doubles on the wall, but they also have them lined up around the room also. So there may be some duplicates if maybe there is a couple, but that's a good question.
We're leaning into that Georgia Bulldog talent pool recently, which is not a bad talent pool to lean into. Clemson and Georgia
that one, yes.
have been pretty good. So what did you go like? They have this here? Was there something that you're like, wow, they even included whatever it happens to be?
Yeah, so one of the physical, the training room type of thing, obviously is really big. You have all the normal beds and the few of the, stretching machines and stuff like that. But then they have a whole room with 3 pools in them also. So I'm guessing they'll probably use that because I didn't see any, ice the tubs type thing, so I'm wondering if those get cold enough to where they can be facilitated as that.
I would think they'd have cold tubs in addition.
Yeah, and I didn't see, but like I said, they could have been in a room that we didn't go into. But that was one of the things where I was like, this is kind of nice. You have 3 swimming pools in addition to all of this equipment that you're using, and it's huge. It's not like it's in this little tiny room where people are getting filtered into, okay, let's hurry, get done. Right. They have time to sit there and actually get whatever they need done. And the next thing that really stood out to me was the weight room. The weight room was amazing. And I posted, we have a picture on 1010XL. I also posted one on my page of just how massive it is. It looks, everything obviously state of the art and brand new, and everything Jaguar logos all over the place. But that room, the weight room, goes directly out into the indoor field also. So it's super convenient because it's all kind of connected. So when you walk out of the main door where it says always earned, never given, really big above when you're walking out into the indoor field. And then the indoor field has multiple garage doors that all open also, that lead you out into the 2 full-size football fields that are outside.
All right, I am going to retweet your tweet. I'm going to put the googly eyes emoji on there as well because you've got shot. You can see the wall of helmets there. The weight room does look ridiculous. I'll say, I don't mind. It's done. I want the facility to be top-notch. I wonder if they need 3 pools. You know what I mean? I get it. You could do. I would imagine pools are more for rehab.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
But you got 3 of them.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Let's hope we're not using that.
We don't need 3. We need 1 small kiddie pool for rehab as far as that goes. So it looks fantastic. And again, you can take the virtual tour at Jaguars.com. We encourage you to do that, and we encourage you to get out there if you possibly can and check it out. So, talking this morning with Jordan Dajani from CBSSports.com, just trying to get another outside the market kind of opinion on what this team is going to do this year. And a question, I was talking about this with Dan Hicken off the air this morning, do we blind ourselves to any potential pitfalls and drawbacks? Are we being too pie in the sky optimistic. Jags won the division last year, and we're going to hear no talk about anything less than 13 wins. Are we being realistic enough, in your opinion, with our projections for this football team?
Yeah, I personally am not at the 12, 13 win
what are you?
mark. I'm more at probably 10.
Okay.
I sit around that.
Boo!
I know.
Get her out of here. Who put Taylor Dahl in this set?
I know, but I guess that's the more realistic. But even is that being most realistic? Like, to you, there's probably people out there, and we saw it yesterday with one of the viral tweets that went out where they had the Jags losing the AFC South and winning 6.5 games. That in no way, unless there's some major massive injury, do I see the Jags winning that little of games. So, but I do think you're expecting Trevor to obviously make that next huge, massive leap and kind of look like the Trevor we saw at the end of the season last year. I think a lot of the concerns are more on the defensive side because we did talk a lot about, not adding any pass rush and things like that. But you are expecting Trayvon Walker to have that year 2 leap and Devin Lloyd. Yeah. And what are you expecting out of Josh Allen? And that's my big question because I think a lot of people are like, well, Josh can be Josh. I'm like, or is Josh the 6-7 sack guy, which isn't a bad football player.
Is that Josh?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not bad. Like, he's a good football player. But are you expecting him to get 10, 11, 12, 13 sacks like guys on Philly's defensive line
and if
doing?
you do that, then you got a ripple effect where it's going to make it easier on everybody else because then he's truly drawing double teams all the time. I mean, I feel like we talk this to death, but it's because it's such an important issue for this football team that remains kind of unanswered at this point in time. So, look, that kind of analysis and more on Helmets, Heels, and Jordans tonight with Taylor and E.T. and J.J. LaSelva filling in there. And go check out Jordan's. I retweeted, and I got the googly eyes in response to just some of the beautiful amenities that are down there. And it's just, just one little slice, like 4 photographs put in there. And it just, Taylor, it feels like, having Donna Deegan there, she understands. She's been a season ticket holder. She's the mayor now. She understands what getting this deal done means to the city and not only her legacy, but the importance it is to this community. And to see this is like a chip off what the block will be eventually, right? Like, this is the Performance Center. This is the adjunct building over here. Look how state-of-the-art and how nice and gleaming this is. Imagine what we're going to get for $1 billion in our stadium. Maybe 20 good years out of it. I don't know. I mean, like in today's NFL, I don't know. But you know what 20 years will do? Take me to retirement. So
well, and I think, Mike, one of the things that they talked about a lot, because obviously Shad Khan talked, Doug Peterson talked, and Donna Deegan talked, and they all were very vocal about, like, this is the start. This is just the beginning. Last season is just the start of how we are expecting the Jaguars football team to be, the facilities to be, the city of Jacksonville to be. And so it's all a ripple effect of this is a start, and everything's getting better, and eventually it's going to be a place that people will really, really want to be.
All right. Well, let's hope so. And speaking of a place where people want to be, I mean, this kind of thing, it's not the deciding factor. The Jags have signed plenty of free agents, oftentimes effective ones over the years. But when you come in now and you tour this place and you say, hey, by the way, what do you see the stadium that's going to be in line with this? And this is what we got. We got 3 pools for you, right? You got a sore hammy? You got to use pool 1, 2, or 3, depending on what day of the week it happens to be. All right. Check out Taylor on Twitter at TayDoll1010XL with her photos of the new Miller Electric Center that are out there. And definitely tune in to Helmets and Heels tonight and every week here on 1010XL. Taylor, thank you for stopping by. And like I said, I hope you get to participate in the Breakfast Bowl this year. I'm not going to be happy losing to anybody. I'd rather lose to you than Tony or D-Rock, though.
At least when I lost, I still bought a decent amount of breakfast.
You did, right? Like, so, and that's the thing, too. One more person, it gives you that much better chance to not have to buy that given week. All right, Taylor Dahl, everybody, check her out with Helmets and Heels weekly and all over 1010XL. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, appreciate it. We'll take a quick time out, come back. We'll take a look at today's Jaguars Today question of the day, and also ESPN's wide receiver rankings and where the Jags fall, if at all, in that kind of listing over there at the folks at ESPN.com. It's Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Pella Windows and Doors. I needed windows. You may not. You may be interested in considering new windows or doors for your home. Go with the best. I trust them in my house, and I'm telling you, you can as well. If you trust Consumer Reports, they'll tell you that Pella Windows and Doors are the overall top choice for energy efficiency and stylish design out of all the companies out there. When you need to replace yours or are just considering it, stop by the Pella showroom. They're on Phillips Highway next to Tesla, and be amazed by their professionalism, their depth of knowledge, and you're just going to feel comfortable and confident that you're going with the right company. Find them online at PellaJax.com. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go.
What are we celebrating?
We're celebrating two things. First,
summer.
Summer days.
It feels phenomenal.
And second,
1010XL.
Hey, this is Jason with Bueller Air Conditioning. Why do we love to go to that awesome grocery store where shopping is a pleasure? Why do we choose that amazing chicken sandwich where the service is fast and friendly and it's always their pleasure? You see, those brands are a promise. Here at Bueller Air, our team is committed to serving the customer and delivering that same kind of brand promise. Our mission is to be the most trusted brand with friendly and professional service every single time. Give us a call today or visit BuellerAir.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not being afraid of the crosses of life. Life can be difficult. Maybe today you're carrying a cross of worry or stress. Let me encourage you to remember that when Christ got on the big cross at Golgotha, he destroyed all the little crosses that we face in our life. He set us free from fear, worry, and anxiety. Our job is not to be carried by the cross, but to be carried by our faith.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Malfunctions in your electrical panel can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8 Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Tired of the same old places for happy hour? Downtown's best is at Bellwether. It's Tuesday through Saturday from 4 to 7, with the exception on Friday when happy hour starts at 11 because why not? For all you late-nighters, Bellwether offers nightcap specials on Friday and Saturday from 9 to 11. Want a snack with your cocktail? Bellwether has a unique bar food spread. And guess what? All metered parking is free after 6 and weekends. That's Bellwether downtown.
Florida State, Clemson, and Miami. All right. It's the ACC kickoff in Charlotte, so you can get to know your favorite coaches and players. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 and Performance Painting on 1010XL.
Fed up with settling for mediocre pet food? Go to Paul Lick & Good, your one-stop shop for affordable, high-quality raw pet food. Their Prey Model blend mimics the way your dog's ancestors consume their meals. It strengthens the immune system and bone health and gives a shinier coat. Made from all-natural USDA-inspected human-grade meats. No fillers, no artificial additives. Check out all the 5-star Google reviews off Lane Avenue near Lenox. Call 625-8600. That's 625-8600. Or visit PaulLickandGoodRaw.com.
Are you an experienced automotive technician and tired of working for employers who put profit over people? Then come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road and get trained on how to diagnose and rebuild today's complex transmissions. See how we're different. Get traction on your career and come to Action.
Equal opportunity employer.
We've been telling you for almost a year about Nathan's Family Chiropractic and the 100-Year Lifestyle Network. If chronic back or joint pain is keeping you down, don't listen to me. Listen to what Jacksonville is saying about Dr. Alan Nathans.
The stem cell treatment took the pain away.
Changed my life. It's awesome.
Your body just works better when it's aligned. We're believers.
His no-needle regenerative protocols are giving people their lives back. Get yours back, too. Go to the pro in the know. Don't do another cortisone injection. He's one of us helping all of us for the past 25 years. For more info, drnathans.com.
It's time to shine a spotlight on your colleagues or company's exceptional achievements. Throughout the year, Jacksonville Business Journal hosts awards to honor the individuals or companies innovating, inspiring, and changing industries. They're looking for the fastest growing companies, your ultimate CEO, a woman of influence, rising stars, tech leaders, 40 under 40, and best places to work. Learn more about the criteria and deadlines at jbjevents.com.
This
This is Ellen Darley, and for almost 30 years, Darley's Plumbing has been known as a winning company for local homeowners, business owners, and our employees. And Darley's is an equal opportunity employer, now hiring for experienced plumbers and helpers. We provide excellent pay rates, great hours, affordable health insurance, and we've got plenty of work for you. So call us today, because we're hiring plumbers and helpers now at Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts.
For the past 5 years in Jacksonville, J-Dog Junk Removal has been on a mission to put veterans back to work. They have successfully helped over 40 veterans find meaningful employment, and they're not stopping there. Their goal is to reach an astounding 75 veterans employed by the year 2025, all in our local community. J-Dog Junk Removal, veteran-owned, veteran-operated.
Keeping your body healthy and active leads to a more vibrant life. A great place to do that is the First Coast YMCA. The Y is equipped with state-of-the-art cardio and strength equipment, plus group exercise studios where trainers host activities like yoga, Zumba, and cycling sessions. The full-court basketball gym and indoor 5-lane swimming pool are open year-round. The Kid Zone can keep an eye on your kids while you work on that dad bod. And it's all available with your family membership. Learn more at fcymca.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL. Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, thanks to Taylor Dahl for stopping in. Definitely check out Helmets and Heels tonight. Already getting some feedback on the text line that if you put Taylor, E.T., and J.J. on together, we may have to make room for a new show. What about Coach Pockets on that program? I don't know. I feel like they're missing an important voice up and coming. And I feel like our female-hosted show is being invaded tonight. But that's what happens when several of them are out on assignment. And so check out Taylor and the crew tonight on Helmets and Heels. And we're talking about the pools that they have. I got a number of texts in on here about how the pools can be temperature regulated, that there's going to be a cold pool, a hot pool, and a therapy pool. Whatever the case, man. It's more like, I'm just impressed by the excess, and I'm not saying it's unnecessary. It's great that we have this kind of state-of-the-art facility for these players here. And again, it's great for the performance because it really does matter. I saw this yesterday. Gabe Davis, played at UCF, plays for the Bills, opened his own basically rehab and therapy place in Central Florida, and this is important to players. Not just working out; it's recovery. And, to gain any edge when the NFL is set up to have some degree of parity, every edge you can gain means something. You got to have good players to begin with, right? That's not going to be a substitute. It's not going to make your players that much better, but it might make them recover faster. It might make them be able to play up to their abilities sooner and maintain that level for longer. And again, free agent tours begin there for right now until that new building is agreed to. And then you can start showing them a slideshow of this is what you're going to be playing in if you play out the entirety of your contract here. So anyway, good stuff. Big day for the Jags. Happy birthday, Shad Khan. Turned 73 years young today. And the Jags cut the ribbon on the Miller Electric Center. And again, check that out at Jaguars.com. They've got a nice little video that takes you on a tour inside. As somebody pointed out in one of Taylor's photos of the weight room, you see, to no one's surprise, Shatley in there, getting ready to lift something because, as we've all known, his greatest strength is his strength, Tyler Shatley. We appreciate you. And one of those guys that will end up having a longer Jaguar career than many. I'll tell you, it seems that way at least. All right, we'll get to the question of the day coming up. I wanted to run through the top 10 wide receiver rankings over at ESPN. And you think about the league as a whole and where it's at with the passing games and the numbers that are being put up. Tyreek Hill suggests he'll get 2,000 yards this year. A lot of people are predicting that for Justin Jefferson. No one's really batting an eye, despite the fact that no one's ever done it in league history. If you're going to do it, you've got the 17th game now, and, passing games being as wide open as they are. Tyreek Hill, presuming he doesn't get suspended for his fishing excursion down in South Florida will have an opportunity to put up big numbers this year. It is interesting to me. This is, again, a ranking that takes into account the opinions of executives, coaches, scouts, and players to come up with these positional rankings, and Jeremy Fowler over at ESPN kind of compiles them after polling these different folks around the league kind of anonymously, and did it with wide receivers, and it really aligns very closely to what you see in fantasy drafts. So, you say, well, that's fantasy, it's not reality. Well, when it comes to the receiver position, the overlap is quite striking. I mean, right now, if you're drafting wide receivers in fantasy, general rule, not every single draft, you're going to see Jefferson first. You're going to see Jamar Chase second. You're going to see Cooper Kupp third. You're going to see Tyreek Hill fourth. And you're going to see some combination of Devontae Adams or A.J. Brown or CeeDee Lamb or Stephon Diggs. Garrett Wilson starting to creep up there with the Jets. Big things expected out of him. Well, listen to this ranking. It's not that dissimilar. Justin Jefferson comes in at number 1. The lowest anyone ranked him was 7th. Pretty 6 better receivers right now than Justin Jefferson? All right. I mean, again, it's not just the numbers they put up. It's their ability to do it and the opportunity that they have. So maybe they're saying, hey, you know what? Put 6 other guys in that Minnesota offense and feed them the ball the way Jefferson gets fed the ball, that they would put up comparable stats. Devontae Adams comes in at number 2, although his lowest ranking was 9th. Last year, he was first overall in this category. Jamar Chase was 3rd last year. He continues to remain 3rd. Tyreek Hill was 5th last year. He bumped up 1 spot to 4th. Cooper Kupp was 2nd last year, fell to 5th, probably because of the injury-marred season. And that's, I think, the biggest concern with him. He puts up absurd production when he's healthy and when Stafford's healthy. And I think that's the question, will they both remain that way? Stephon Diggs coming in at number 6, A.J. Brown at 7. DK Metcalf, the first guy I hadn't mentioned who breaks into the top 10. Metcalf, by the way, more of a mid-3rd round pick in fantasy. It was ranked as high as number 4, and somebody left him completely out the top 10. His lowest ranking was unranked, but was 10th last year, so he bumps up to 8. Terry McLaurin was ranked as high as number 3 by someone this year. Others didn't vote for him. Last year, he was an honorable mention. He cracks the top 10 at number 9 and CeeDee Lamb at 10. Again, with the exception of McLaurin and Metcalf, you're looking at basically the same 8 or so receivers that come off the board first in fantasy drafts right now. The honorable mention category, Deebo Samuel, Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. Smith, Waddle, Wilson, Higgins, all in a group that go somewhere between the mid-2nd to early 3rd round in fantasy drafts. So, again, the nerds who play fantasy like me, I have a pretty good grasp on the value of the position compared to what some of the decision makers are saying. Now, that's 6 extra guys, so that's 19 receivers that have been named. Now, in the others receiving votes, but not close enough to receive an honorable mention designation, Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Lions, another guy who goes in the 2nd round of fantasy drafts. Chris Olave of the Saints. Then you get Calvin Ridley, which would make him basically, they list these in the order of votes they received. He'd be ranked 19th. Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, DeAndre Hopkins. How dare he? Mike Williams and Chris Godwin, also in the others receiving votes. So not a single vote for Christian Kirk. It's not shocking. I mean, again, the reaction to him getting that contract last year was you're paying who what? But, we feel like, and I say we, I feel like, and I think I can reflect the opinion of a lot of Jaguar fans out there, that this is the best set of skill players, top to bottom, the Jags have had at least since their 90s heydays. Taking the quarterback out, it's really up there. I mean, you think about the receivers that the Jags have had since Jimmy Smith retired, and it's not exactly a who's who, but now you have Ridley, who's been a 1,300-yard receiver. You have Kirk, who showed you he can be your lead guy last year and played very well. You have Zay Jones. Obviously, those are your top 3, and big things expected out of Trevor Lawrence. It is not surprising. Sorry about that. No sneeze button. Right there in the mic there for you, Denmark. Just letting you know I am human. Calvin Ridley makes it on the list kind of sight unseen for the last couple of years. If Calvin Ridley had backed up his 1,300-yard season with a couple more 1250s in the last 2 years, you wonder if he would not be inside the top 10 right now. For the fact that he hasn't played in that long and still get consideration as a top 20 guy, is pretty good. But when you look at these Jags skill position guys, you go, wow, we're loaded. Just realize there are a lot of teams right now that are loaded. Now, maybe to be more interesting kind of dynamic to get into, all right, take that number 1 out of every team. If you consider Kirk the 2 right now, how does he stack up with the 2s around the league? Well, in some cases, like Seattle had both Metcalf and Lockett cracking the top 25 or so here. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams for the Chargers. So there's definitely some second receivers that are going to outpace Kirk. In fact, some of them that outpaced even Ridley himself, depending on how you view certain players out there. Certainly a guy like Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins all taking second fiddle status. It is interesting, too, that Mike Evans, and people debate back and forth, Mike Evans versus Chris Godwin, but Evans probably strongly based on his ridiculous track record of 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons, getting an honorable mention nod ahead of Godwin and coming in 12th overall. So that's where Calvin Ridley fell, basically 19th on the receiver list. Again, the rankings don't mean a thing. Go out there and play and win games, and you'll get your respect that way. Today we asked you the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. Jaguars fans, how many training camp practices do you plan on attending at the brand-new Miller Electric Center? I'm not sure myself. I've had people ask me, hey, are you going to be out there? Can I meet you? I had people texting that this morning. Please do. If we got the headset on, we're working. Where do we generally take the headset off on a break, walk up. We love to meet Jaguar fans, take pictures, talk to you, give you our thoughts, whatever, get your thoughts. Love that interaction. So I hope we get those opportunities. And again, that's kind of in the works. I couldn't answer this directly myself. I guess I'd have to say 3 or more because I'll be out there at least for the weekend practices, and I'll do my best to be out there if we're able to. For those weekdays. But right now, the majority of people say they're going to at least one practice. 1 or 2 practices leading the way with 46% of the vote. 40.7 say they're not going to make it to any, and that includes all the people who are voting, coming from out of town. There were a number of people from out of town indicating that they're making the trip. They've got their plans. They're ready to go as far as that goes. And 3 or more, 13% say they'll make it to 3 or more practices. Didn't get to this from Joey, but we'll talk about it tomorrow when Demetrius Harvey joins me on the program about the shuffling of the offensive line. Let's say that Anton Harrison struggles. And what do you do when Cam comes back? Move Cam to right, move Little to right, and put Cam at left. We'll get into some of the permutations. I do appreciate those questions and the feedback that we get. And we just had a lot of stuff to chew on today. So we'll get into that tomorrow. If you're watching on the 1010XL YouTube channel, you saw that handsome gentleman sit down right next to me right now. Big Sirs in the house. Let's say hello to XL Primetime.
2-minute drill brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping the sports world spinning with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
All right, Sirs, how are you, man?
What's going on, bro? I'm doing great.
Were you able to make it down? Did you go to the ribbon cutting today?
I did not, but I did see the video of it. It looks amazing.
Pretty ridiculous, right? Like with that, for you obviously signed here as a free agent with the Jags, but how much does that play? Like when you now, as soon as next year, you're going to be preaching to them, hey, we got a brand new stadium coming, right? But this is a kind of a precursor. Here's a preview of what's to come. This is what the state of our facilities are going to be like. How much does that mean to an NFL free agent?
For me, initially, I didn't care about the eye candy. I mean, I think the kids nowadays, they like to come to a facility where it's all about the ball, the locker room's nice, the weight room, and all that.
You see those college locker rooms, man, they're crazy.
I was more concerned about the Kaufman's telling me that they were going to start winning football games.
Okay.
That's what I wanted it to be about. But I understand that now if you've got that kind of facility and you're a free agent and you're coming to, you're about to renovate the new stadium and you got this facility that you're going to be all about the ball, business of ball, yes, that's absolutely attractive to any free agent that's coming in.
And I think that's kind of baked in now. We presume with Trevor Lawrence here, they are going to be good. They are going to be competitive. They are going to win. So that aspect of it, are you on an even playing field with Kansas City? Maybe not at this moment, but the hope is in short order they will be. So I think that'll take care of itself. You got no state income tax. You got mostly great weather. And the facility upgrades that we hope are coming across the board, a lot of reason to be excited as a Jaguar supporter, man.
Absolutely. Listen, we may not be at the table, but we're in the room as far as Casey goes.
That's right. And soon we're going to march up that table.
And we're not the maitre d' either.
No, we're going to march up that table. You know what we're going to do? We're going to pull that tablecloth right off.
There you
all
go.
the dishes on the floor. We're going to start everything brand new.
Love it.
Duval County. What do you guys have coming up today?
Well, we got Big John Henderson coming on today at 12:40. You know, Big John is going into the Tennessee Volunteers Hall of Fame this weekend, so I wanted to get him on to talk about his alma mater.
Well deserved, man. You go back, and I know the Cane. You can do this with like the 2001 Canes. You look at that roster, and then you look at the running back depth chart that they had in Miami, right? It was like you had like Portis and Gore and McGahee and all these guys, right? You go back and look at like 98 Tennessee, a pretty damn good roster too. And Henderson was in that mix in the late 90s.
But the 91 Hurricanes would have beat all of them.
Oh, is that right?
I just happened to be here.
I'm sorry, my headset's breaking up. Leon, we're going to have to go, but you got the next 3 hours. There you go. Big Sirs.
You got it.
Joe C. and the XL Primetime crew, will have coverage of SEC Media Days, obviously, all the latest on the Jacksonville Jaguars and anything pertinent in the world of sports to you here in Duval County. All right, that'll do it for us today. We appreciate Jordan Dajani for stopping by from CBS Sports, and, of course, Taylor Dahl classing up the joint, telling us about the new Miller Electric Center. And speaking of classing up the joint, I mentioned it, but we'll get into it with him tomorrow. All Jaguar-related issues with Demetrius Harvey from the Florida Times-Union. He's going to join me on set tomorrow and sit in for the entirety of the show. And then we'll have John Shipley doing the same on Thursday, doing a little training camp preview week here with McManus on Friday. So we got a lot to do with Tony Smith enjoying a little staycation this week. That'll do it for us today. For Dylan Denmark and our guests, I'm Mike Dempsey. We appreciate you listening to Jaguars Today. And please do stick around. XL Primetime is next here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. All right, here you go. Dandy Foods, lunchtime. Hey, it is lunchtime. That doesn't mean you have to eat lunch right now. You can eat whatever you like. Dandy's got great breakfast items. But boy, if you want lunch, classic sandwiches and subs, Dandy's got you covered, man. The Anytime Deli line, that's all under the Dandy umbrella. All started by the Thompson family over 65 years ago right here in Duval. A Jacksonville-based company, big supporters of the local sports scene. Support a local company that employs some of your friends, your family, your neighbors, what have you, and consistently puts out just a high-quality product, man. If you start with the quality ingredients like Dandy does, you're going to have a good end product, especially if you deliver fresh daily like they do around the First Coast. Always adding items to the menu so that variety never gets stale, and you're never going to have to break the bank and go to the poorhouse. Dandy, always affordable, convenient, on the go. Swing into a Gate Station for the best in town. When you're hungry, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
This is Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go.
Go Jacksonville.
It's a Duval thing.
Let's go Duval.
1010XL.
This is Hayes Carlion for Spickelmeyer Insurance Agency. I was paying too much for car insurance, paying for things I didn't need. My friend John Spickelmeyer fixed all that for me with impeccable customer service. For all your car insurance needs, call John at 471-7155.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Whether it's a large commercial project or a multifamily property, trust All Pro Roofing for exceptional craftsmanship and unparalleled